Today we introduce your host, Payton Ramos.
Thank you. Wow. Y'all are too kind. Well, as the nice sounding man just said, my name is Payton Ramos, and today I'm going to be your host. This segment is called How to Be Happy, and we will be going over 5 big tips on ways to sustain happiness. I really hope you guys enjoy and are able to take something away from the video. I hate to sound like your mom right now, as I know I'm sounding like mine as I'm quoting one of her famous lines, but in life it can help to hang out with the good kids. It doesn't have to sound nearly as cheesy as your parents usually make it sound, but in life it is proven to be best if you surround yourself only with those that truly care and want the best for you. I'm sure you all have already heard this joke from your science teacher that thinks they're a lot funnier than they actually are. Miss Tiderman, I love you and you're hilarious. And I am terribly sorry for introducing this joke into your guys' lives, but it goes, have you lost an electron? Yeah, I'm positive. It is terrible, way overused, but I like to think there's some underlining meaning there. If you think of ourselves as the atom and we lose a negative being the electron, we turn out more positive. That, I believe, is the truth. A principle of Nichiren Buddhism, the oneness of life and its environment, addresses this phenomenon. Our own inner life state finds itself mirrored in and mirrored by our environment. As humans, we tend to reciprocate the surroundings that we're given. It definitely isn't our species' most glowing trait, and what's even worse is that when we get into these negative states, we tend to gravitate more towards the environment that is present. With relationships between a negative and a positive person, imagine it as like a huge game of tug-of-war. You guys are constantly and maybe even unknowingly pulling each other more towards your own inner state. You guys usually find a mean in between where your guys' relationship remains idle, but when you get into these depressed states, you tend to get dragged more towards the other person's side. Cutting out negative people in your life can be a very difficult task, as you've probably grown attached, but I promise you it will be more beneficial in the long run, as negative people tend to try to cut you down. Famous author Mark Twain put it best when he said, keep away from the people who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that, but the really great make you feel that you too can become great. It is possible to turn your negative pals around. It is just studies have shown that it is a very hard mission to accomplish. Especially when you're in when you're in a depressed state as well, your own positivity is already at such a weak point. It's hard to make those negative people turn around to more of a positive outlook. Karen Salmonson has the best take on this when she says, sometimes it's better to end something and try to start something new than imprison yourself in hoping for the impossible. Therefore, you should always be surrounding yourself with positivity, as it is the best way to be living life. And also, you should probably always listen to what your mamas say, as you've come to find out that they're always right. Alright, this is a judge-free video, and so you cannot laugh at me for when you find out where I got the name of this topic. I was watching Zombieland the other day, and it came across their rule book, and one of the rules in their book is enjoy the little things, which I found to be oddly profound for a zombie movie. In life, we tend to hinder ourselves due to what other people think, and I'm here to say, fuck those people. You should never be afraid to do the little things that you enjoy. So, for my first example, I'm going to be using myself. I work at this place called Dutch Bros, which is a place where we manage to bounce off the walls all day, we poop out butterflies, and we also sell coffee to you guys. It's a very high energy, positive type of work environment. Though during the winter months when you have to be outside and it's cold as heck over here, as you fellow Idahoans know, it can be very hard for me to stay positive at times. So what I tend to do is I just do little stuff that I like to do. Like, I look like a fool out there, but I do heel clicks, I'll do some snow angels, I lay in the grass, anything to make myself smile. Because at the end of the day, that's what really matters. As I said before, this tip was carefully named to where I could hit a broad amount of subjects within it. Not all of them are just about how I'm bad at my job. Da-da-da. Little things should be anything that can help attribute to your happiness. One of the first things that can easily help your mood is getting a proper amount of sleep. Sleep impacts many of the chemicals in your body, including your serotonin receptors. People with serotonin deficiencies are more likely to suffer from depression. You can help prevent depression by making sure you are getting the proper amount of sleep, which can be anywhere from 7 to 9 hours. Having a proper sleep schedule can drastically help out with your depression. Sleeping well through the night allows your batteries to better charge and allows you to be your best self in the morning. When you deprive yourself of said sleep, your thoughts and emotions start to become harder to manage. And then when you're depressed, your sleep schedule is one of the first things to feel the impact. To finish off this topic, I want to end with some profound words by psychologist Linda Sapadin. She stated, every day, look for 1 or 2 moments that worked out well for you. Don't shrug your shoulders and go, that was a bad day, nothing worked out for me. Even in the bad days, if you are willing to dig deep enough, you can find something good, but only if you're willing to discover it. Alright, so for this topic, I'm going to go ahead and spin in reverse and have it start off with some words from a psychologist. That stated, when you're depressed, your energy levels can drop drastically, but the last thing you want to do when feeling down is to keep yourself from getting up. It's a physiological fact that activity fights depression. Get your heart rate up 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week, and it has been scientifically proven that you will feel better emotionally. Exercising increases the neuroplasticity of your brain and releases neurochemicals called endorphins, which help to elevate your mood. Even just getting out of the house for a walk, a game of catch with your kids, or a trip to the gym is a medically proven method of improving the way you feel. Working out isn't the only solution to helping out with your depression. When I say get out more, I mean that in a very literal sense. Find a hobby. It can be fishing, it can be chess, it can be anything, as long as you're getting out there. If you aren't quite ready to get back into a social setting all the way, that's totally fine too. These hobbies can help you build your way towards that. If you play chess, you have to play with somebody. At some point, you can start having conversations with the people you're playing with. If you play video games, at some point, you can start inviting your buddies to come play with you. If you go fishing out in the forest, then actually, you know what? Maybe don't talk to people you meet out in the middle of the forest because they might try to kill you. But the moral of the story is that getting out more can help with your depression. It can be hard to put yourself back out there again after living under a rock for such a long time, as leaving the house has a certain type of pressure to it that can feel hard to bear. It helps to remember, though, that there are people out there who appreciate you and appreciate you for who you are and the things that you do. It's best to slowly get yourself back out there, know your limitations, and don't push yourself too far. It can be easy to set your goals too high, so please remember to try not to. Remember that you are healing and it does take time to get back to 100%. Don't expect to be able to host a party and socialize with everyone you invite. Start off small. Start by asking a friend to go get a cup of coffee. Start by going to the movies with somebody. Over time, it does get easier, but it does take time. Words can't describe just how important this topic is, and so I went ahead and did some actions, and I hope it gets my point across. Sorry about that. But back on topic. Bottling up these emotions is a one-way road to nothing good. If you don't express how you feel, then it lets all those negative emotions brew inside of you. Depression leads you to believe the realities that aren't true, and without a helping hand along the course, it can lead to some hairy situations. If you are uncomfortable talking about how you feel with people, please find someone that you are willing to talk to, whether it be professional or someone you're close to. It can be really hard to express these emotions for the first time to somebody. You may feel too insecure about how people will react to the truth of how you're feeling. You may feel too tough to ask for help. No matter the reason, please express these thoughts and emotions to somebody or else they will eat you alive. It's very important that once you do choose to share your depression with somebody, that you choose someone that will try to be there for you in the best way possible. It can be anybody, a close friend, a family member, as long as they make you feel heard and understood. Psychologist Aiken says, it can be very helpful to talk to somebody close to you about your problems. I urge daily contact, at least with a confidant over the phone. He or she doesn't need to act like a therapist, they are mainly there to listen. Just make sure you don't pick someone that can get irritated and give you harsh advice or make you feel worse about how you're feeling. It can also help to write in a journal. Writing in a journal can help formulate your scrambled mind into formed sentences of what you believe is going wrong in your life. Then from there, you can start depicting ways of how to help. It's also another great outlet. Sometimes putting down your thoughts into words can help belittle them into problems that you can actually solve. It can also be like screaming into a pillow for you too. It's just a great way to vent. It's also proven to be helpful to have a longtime friend and or a family member remind you of all the great times you shared together. Depression makes hope seem like such a distant thought. According to psychologist London, it often robs you of the memory of joy or happiness, so it becomes difficult to draw on happy memories to give one hope for the future. Depression even makes hope seem foolish, like an illusion. Having your close ones around you remind you of this happiness helps restore those memories and also gives you hope that you can still make more of them. Rather than feeling like you're in a pit with no way to be happy, you see that happiness is not only achievable, but that you've lived and breathed it before. Alright, I know this is a goofier segment, but I am not here to make jokes about our Lord and Savior. Though, if you need an arc, I do know a guy. Sorry, I had to get one in. This topic isn't about having faith in religion alone, though. When you hear the word faith, your mind tends to get pulled towards the religion, but faith covers such a broader spectrum than just that. The definition of faith is having complete trust or confidence in someone or something. You can have faith in your work, your family, your friends, karma, anything, as long as it just helps you get out of bed in the morning. For me, personally, I like to keep faith in myself and my friends around me. Whenever the going gets tough for me, I just try to remember all the greatness that I have within me. All of us have greatness within us. It can just be so hard to acknowledge when we're in these depressed states. Remember all the good you have in your life and all the good that you still aspire to do in this life, as there is so much more good than there is the bad. Faith is one of the most important things to possess throughout life. Life is hard, and if it wasn't, it just wouldn't be life. Faith helps instill hope, and one of my favorite movies of all time tackles that theme head on. It is a widely revered movie. Your dads have all probably watched it, or if you are the dad watching this, you've seen it. It's Shawshank Redemption. The main actor, Andy Dufresne, tackles this theme head on when he says, "Remember, Red, hope is a good thing, maybe the best of all things, and no good thing ever dies." Whew, gives me hope is, as Andy Dufresne best put it, one of the best of all things. It's that fuzzy blanket on a rainy day that helps warm you up. It's a cup of coffee before a long day at work. It's that thing that helps ensure you that even though things aren't okay right now, that soon they will be. That feeling could be so hard to hold on to when you're depressed. Patients of Robert London, who is a psychiatrist that specializes in depression and anxiety, express these same emotions. Something he mentions to help rekindle that fire of hope within them is that how hopeless you feel does not correlate to whether you can feel better. Depression is an illness that extinguishes hope. It's the nature of the disorder. This disorder is orchestrated to put you down. It messes with you, putting images of paranoid realities into your head until one day they become the reality that you're living. Feeling hopelessness isn't a complete negative, even though it may seem like one. Saying you feel hopeless, London says, can be a positive step. It holds the implication that hope is still something that is possible. One of the scary things about feeling this hopelessness is that it feels like it's going to last forever. I brought up earlier that this is not a disorder that does last forever, but when depressed, it can sure feel that way. Professionals say that it's hard to tell whether the treatment plan will be short or long for patients, but what they have seen is that people that stick with the program always see results. I sincerely hope that one, if not all of these tips can help you guys out with day-to-day life. Not everything we experience in life is going to be easy, but how we choose to deal with those challenges will determine the life that we're going to live. A very wise man once told me life is like walking through an endless hallway. On the left side, you have all the negative, all the bad, all the trauma that you've ever had to experience in your life. While on the right side, it's filled with all the positivity, all the love and happiness you've gotten to share and experience throughout your life. You get to choose which side of the hallway you get to look at. Choose the right side. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, and please go support Hope for Idaho. I can't express how much I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Have a great day.